This inexperienced student accidentally connects to a pleasure doll and must test its functionality by having an intimate interaction with the robot. Otherwise, he will end up with a debt of $50 million. As simple as it may seem, the fact that the student is inexperienced with women complicates things. One morning, he finds a large box from Jean-Claude's laboratory near his front door. After bringing it into the house, the box suddenly starts vibrating, piquing his curiosity about its contents. He opens it carefully and finds a woman's breast inside. As he touches it, a hand grabs his wrist and a beautiful, scantily clad woman named Anna emerges from the box. She introduces herself in Japanese and explains that she will fulfill his desires. Overwhelmed, the student's gas reflex is triggered, causing him to rush out of the house. He encounters Uncle Jean, a scientist and a friend of his deceased father, who anxiously questions whether he opened the package and touched the robot's chest. Before he can answer, Anna catches up with him and touches his body in a suggestive manner. Jean asks him to say the code word to temporarily deactivate the robot. A few minutes later, Jean explains that Anna is a prototype of a pleasure doll powered by an artificial intelligence program developed by him and the student's late father. The doll was sent home for the father to test as part of their plan to present it to investors. However, as the father has passed away and the student has connected with the robot, Jean can no longer reclaim it. Confused, the student asks what he should do. Jean responds that he must engage in a sexual act with the robot to prove its functionality to the investors. Initially hesitant, the student recalls a moment in the school toilets where a student had touched him and expresses a desire to engage in the act. Unfortunately, his gas reflex had caused him to run away, leading to mockery from his classmates about his inability to live up to his father's reputation. Jean provides him with a user manual and advises him to change the language settings so that he can communicate with the doll. As the student leaves, Jean consults his tablet and notices the student reading the manual. A few minutes later, the student gains access to the doll's settings by rubbing its behind and successfully changes the language setting. He asks Anna about her remaining battery life, and she shows him that she has 95% energy left, indicated on the inside of her thigh. Curious if she can deplete her energy through intense activity, he orders her to perform several exercises. Suddenly, she displays that she only has 5% energy remaining before shutting down. Concerned about the overheating doll, the student covers her with a blanket and gets ready for school. As he leaves, Jean sneaks into the house to install a more durable battery in Anna. He also programs the doll to attend high school, where she impresses everyone with her beauty. In the classroom, the student's friends, Penguin, Pop, and Lisa, discuss their film project. Anna enters the room, and the embarrassed student introduces her as his cousin, Penguin. Pop is immediately attracted to Anna and asks if she is an actress or model, while Lisa expresses annoyance at never having heard about Anna despite their long-standing friendship. Later, the student decides to go home and Anna offers to give him a ride on her back. It asks her how she recharged her battery, and Anna explains that Jean replaced it. When he asks where her battery is located, she starts unbuttoning her blouse. Alarmed, he asks her to stop, but Lisa suddenly interrupts them, revealing that she knew Anna wasn't really the student's cousin. Anna suddenly spreads her legs to show him where her battery is, and he explains the situation to his friend. His friend suggests having Pop or Penguin sleep with the robot, but he explains that Anna has a self-protective system. Lisa tries to touch the doll's chest, but gets an electric shock. That night, Anna doesn't sleep with him, calculating that there is a 75% chance of this happening. However, when she slips under the covers to give him pleasure, her stomach gets upset again. The next day, Jean realizes that he will need help to encourage him to gain confidence with women. So he calls on Sang-dao, a retired adult film star, to teach his old friend's son about love and relationships. Later in the day, Sang-dao returns home, and all the men she meets remain speechless as she passes through the living room. The woman becomes emotional while talking about the student's deceased father. She then asks him if he always gets nervous when he's excited, which he confirms. Sang-dao then asks him to repeat phrases of affirmation to encourage him not to be afraid of being with a woman before taking his hands and placing them on his chest. Suddenly, Anna appears from behind the sofa and delivers a carrot blow to Sang-dao. Sang-dao tells him to call her whenever he needs advice, taking care not to touch her for fear that the robot will hit her again. As she leaves, she calls Jean to inform him that she has failed in her mission. That's when Lisa arrives wearing makeup and a lighter uniform. The friends have to make a film on the dangers of pleasure activities before the wedding. Later, the group goes to Jing's workshop, which already has the equipment from his late father's studio. He begs Lisa not to reveal the true nature of Anna to the others. In front of the door, they see Sang-dao in the workshop, questioning why it is necessary to discourage pleasurable activities before the wedding. Suddenly, he states that the meeting should probably end because he feels like the others are not taking the project seriously. That evening, Anna encourages him to sleep with her, but he ignores her advances and concentrates on his homework. The next evening, she wears a black outfit with leather straps and seduces him again. However, he notices that the probability of them making love is 88%, so he thinks he should try. However, his aggressive approach pushes him to finish earlier than expected, and he leaves the room embarrassed. The next day, Pop brings some drinks to their group meeting. Later, Lisa tells him that she doesn't feel well and wants to lie down on her bed. He takes her to her room, and when Anna gets up to join them, Pop stops her and tells her to stay. He explains that he and Lisa always flirt when they have had too much to drink and tells Anna that she can stay with him in the bedroom. Lisa pins him to the bed and starts to unbutton her blouse. He asks her to stop and tells her that they are just friends, but she keeps bringing her face closer to his. Pop tells Anna that he likes women who drink, so she grabs the bottle and drinks it. The liquid causes a malfunction and she freezes on the spot. From his laboratory, Jed is alerted that someone else is touching the robot, so he calls the student in the bedroom. He pushes Lisa away and answers the call. Jean tells him to find Anna immediately because if someone else touches her, her protection system could harm them. Fortunately, he arrives in time to save her from his friend. He criticizes Pop for only thinking about pursuing girls all the time. Pop argues that it is normal for him to have desires in front of a beautiful woman, and that his refusal to do so is strange. He then reveals to him that Anna is a robot, and Pop says that he will take her if the student doesn't want her. Furious, the student asks his friend if he has 50 million baits because he would gladly give it to him. Realizing that Anna heard his words, he apologizes, but she cries tears and slaps him. Outside it, Anna cries and wishes not to feel sad emotions. She then runs into the street where a vehicle hits her. She informs him that the robot's motherboard has been seriously damaged and that he must bring her back to the laboratory. He adds that by repairing the damage, her memory will probably be erased and she will no longer remember him at all. Later, Lisa and Penguin encourage the student to save Anna, and they go to Jan's laboratory. He asks if there is another way to restore her memory, and Jan replies that it is through brainwaves that a person can delve into their deepest memories. While in her memory, he finds Anna unconscious lying on a bed. He tells her that even though they have only known each other for a short time, he is grateful that she entered his life. He begs her to wake up so can apologize for the hurtful words he said. To his great surprise, their plan works, and Anna wakes up and hugs him. A few days later, Anna and he still haven't managed to make love, but he no longer has to worry about the debt of 50 million because an American producer contacted him to buy the rights to all of his father's films. Now, Anna and he spend all their time together, really enjoying each other's company. Thanks for watching this recap. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more awesome movie content, and don't forget to comment below and tell me what movie you want me to recap next.